Hello and welcome. I'm Bob Hunt. Today, I'm here mostly just to talk about up and coming stuff, about horror and that, and I am excited to have a discussion with everybody on where we could go with like Scream 6, Halloween ends. So, I hope everybody's been having a great day and a wonderful afternoon. Uh, Nothing really new here for me. Just another day. just excuse me, sorry. Just another day where get to attempt a live stream and hopefully have a lot of fun. Hopefully go at least an hour, maybe 2 hours talking about everything. So, hey, what's up, Jordan? Hey, that's fine. I can completely understand that. I'm glad that you were able to stop by and you'll be in between calls. I could fully understand that. But anytime you can stop in, it's always a good time. After this is done, like I said, I'll be on Instagram and I will get back to you on that. But today, with everything, so I'm going to start off with Halloween Ends. I'm definitely very excited to see where they go within the realms of Halloween Ends. I'm not going to hype it up too much in my head like I did with Kills because that was just it made me not like the movie till I saw it a few other times, and so I'm definitely not going in as hyped up for that one. So, but with ends, I would definitely like to see a little fight between Laurie and Michael, where Laurie is saving Allison, and Allison has, and Laurie does die, and Allison picks up that mantelpiece of being the final girl because they've set it up so well, like we were discussing last night in Jordan, where with with uh I hate doing this on mobile because then something pops up and it throws me off. But they've set it up so perfectly for Allison to be that final girl. So they need to have, I'd say, at least a 20-minute battle with Laurie and Michael, where Laurie is saving her, because it would add to that. And yeah, it does have to happen for sure because they've set it up just perfectly. So I see some, maybe you could implement the fight at like the old Myers ground or something where Laurie lures Michael there, or Allison had lured Michael there, and you have a little battle on like the ground if they tore down the house. Oh, it doesn't even have to be there. It could be anywhere. I'm just kind of laying some groundwork to make some sense of it. But like Laurie's fighting Michael, defending Allison. Laurie lasts maybe 20 minutes, and that's where it'll pick up for Allison to be that final girl because she's already lost her father, her mother, her boyfriend, her three friends, and now her grandmother and Lori. Do I think Michael will kill in between the time jump, or is? I think they might show something more like going back to the original, where he kind of stalks off, and at least I want him to go more than that original, where he's going around and stalking very slowly, methodically for the kills. But knowing how Blumhouse and that will probably do it. They'll probably have something where they do have him kind of killing, at least in. They might even show in the beginning, like him going away and killing people, and somehow is forgotten or something. That yeah, there are photos where we see a missing person poster. It very well could be Michael. Actually, that would make the most sense because if you're going to do a time jump, they're not going to have him captured again, or you're just going to go back to Halloween 2018 and you're going to try to revitalize what you did in that movie, and having him escape again would just be pointless at this point. Because as far as we know, and I'm interpreting the ending how I am with Kills with this, they, as far as we know at this point, nobody knows that Karen died except for Laurie at this point, because the medics were downstairs taking care of Allison and that. So nobody other than Laurie, and I'm talking extended cut as well, so if you haven't seen it with the new ending, I'd recommend leaving for about a couple minutes. But with that extended cut ending where Laurie had called Karen and Michael's on the phone, at this point we're believed that she's the only one that knows that Michael had killed her in that scene, because nobody else was around even though they were downstairs. Hey, Bobby Breakdown. What's going on? It does and it doesn't. They might implement that as the beginning to Halloween Ends. We don't know what they'll do with that. I mean, if it didn't exist, then why put it in the extended cut? That's my thing. Because then you're taking away from the story that you're trying to build. So I can't say if it will or not. I personally want it to be. It makes more sense than the crap ending we got. But I can see your point there with that. But if they extend upon that extended cut is more where I'm thinking, which is how I'd rather them go, because I did too, Bobby, but that extended cut ending makes me question it, because we don't see the body move. I don't know either, Bobby. Anything can happen. We don't know what they have in store. It's more just my thoughts. I want that more methodical, slow walking Michael, though. It kind of does, though. I can't deny that, Jordan. It does imply that it would take place in the same night, which also is very confusing with everything they want to do and all of that. So, but even if it did, there's no way. I'm sorry, I wouldn't buy. Then Laurie wouldn't be surviving in a flight that long, because she just got done having surgery on her stomach, and we already saw that night being bumped messed up her little thing, and she got cut back open. So there's so many flaws with that. Oh my god. Yeah, very quietly, methodically. He also teleports, which doesn't really make sense when you think about it, but he definitely has that quietness to him. Because when you think about the original, he was he was just that shape. He was the boogeyman, the shape stalking. And he was very quiet. I mean, look at the whole thing with Annie in the original. I mean, she didn't even know he was in the backyard or anything, except the dog did, but he killed the dog while it was barking. I mean, so, and she never suspected that he was there. Then somehow he was quiet in the car. So, I mean, when you think about it, Michael could do almost anything. As long as they don't expose a whole backstory. We saw how that kind of went with Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael. Even in 5, we saw them kind of implementing what could be controlling Michael. It just doesn't work. It's better having that mystique and mystery to him. Hey, Carrie, welcome. Glad to see you here. Gotta love that nickname. Okay, so this is very hard to admit. When I first saw Kills, I hated it. I hated it with a burning passion. It was ruined for me. I hyped it up too much, and I thought it was god awful. I thought it was. I almost had it on the same level as Resurrection, to be honest. That's how bad I thought it was. But then I rewatched it a couple times and I started picking up on things that actually made sense and I actually enjoy it a lot more. So to answer that, I really do enjoy it. No question on that. Yeah. Maybe it is just like video games. We don't know. I mean, it'd be confusing, but hey, it is a possibility. Yeah, yeah. I probably should have watched it in the same day and not just thought it was crap, to be honest. But I couldn't do it. That it just wasn't possible for me. Oh, definitely. And I like it even more with that extended cut, to be honest. The little bit of 4 minutes extra they added to it. But I enjoy it even more. And I love the subtlety of expanding on even what Michael did in the original with turning certain kills into artwork. Like when he had constricted like Lindsay with the tombstone for Judith in the house. It wasn't like gruesome artwork, but he had that. The way he messed with Bob in the closet in that one scene, mangled and that the artwork. So we see that extended with like how he was killing the elderly couple. We saw it with the park scene. We saw it with Big John and Little John. He enjoys the kills and he really twisted them out. And it was just amazing. I think I. Bear with me, guys. My screen froze. But yeah, I have to admit with that I can't wait to see what they do in ends, and I hope they have that same kind of story arc within there for him because he he is a sick, twisted psychopath who likes to twist things around. Then, hey, hey, Jordan, I can't disagree with that at all. I mean, it's just when I first saw it, that's where I had put it. I still don't like Resurrection. I know it has its fans. I think if Resurrection would have been modernized, it might have been better. But I can't say for 100% certainty about that. But I mean, it was just my first thought, and now I love it. So yes, they are. Yes, I mean the hospital scene still is a little too drawn out, even in the extended cut. But once you get past the whole evil dies tonight rant that they go on about, I enjoy it. And I think that them thinking it's Michael made more sense because they didn't see the whole thing. A lot of them, if they're in the hospital with no TV, so a lot of them wouldn't know what Michael would have looked like, the height and all of that. So a lot of them thinking that the other escaped patient was Michael really worked out, in my opinion, and made it very viable and believable. In my personal opinion. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, Jordan. I think it's just because it would come across as it all would be in one night, and it wouldn't make sense for Lori with the whole stomach injury if you're going to utilize her to set her up with saving Allison, because she's not going to really be able to fight. But like I said, it's very hard to uh, it's very hard for that. And like I said, with Karen's death, anything they could even open up with it later on or something. We don't really know. It might be a whole flashback. Yep, that one annoying catchphrase for that whole movie, "Evil dies tonight." They should have shortened that. Yeah, it was just the whole "Evil dies tonight" concept in that scene was so drawn and annoying. Yeah, they did stream for like 7 hours, and I think it even went past that because I think they did a X Watch party as well, and at that point I just conked. I couldn't stay up anymore. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, take your time there. But yeah, no, they did stream long last night. I mean, the first one went till like 3 a.m. and it started like at 10, so that was, let's see, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It was like 6, and then like however long it was on Craven's channel just went beyond that. So, and I couldn't even watch it. I was in between Jordan's stream and Bearded stream, and it just too much chaos. And by the time that ended, I was beat. But yeah, like I was saying, I think the extended cut only was cut out of the theatrical because it would imply one night. But I do prefer that ending far more because it does show Karen fully dead. Because in the theatrical, it leaves it up to the imagination to a degree. We don't see the full body. Yeah, I know. I know. It was just crazy. Only reason I stayed up really was more just talking with Jordan and his because we were going on screen, and me and him were kind of going back and forth with some ideas for that with the show even. Yeah, I could tell last night for a while when I came back in, and it was crazy. Yeah, yeah, because I came right back in toward the very end, and you were still there, and I'm just like, I, even the East Coast people. Yeah, we did go 3 hours. It was a good turnout in your stream, Jordan, because at first it started where it was just me talking, and at least we kind of got more flows going in there for the other things. It was just amazing. Oh, it definitely does. Uh, Even if you're traveling, you can, if you have the right thing for YouTube, and you can download it and have it while you're driving, going to work or something. Oh, helps. Or if you'd like take a bus or something, it really helps. Yes, I would say that was the best stream on your channel so far, Jordan. No question. Just by how that was. No, they don't care about us East Coasters. They really don't. I mean, and it annoyed me because I really wanted to watch X last night, and I just couldn't stay up anymore. They do not care about us at times, but no, I still love them. I gotta mess around with that. They they know what they're doing. It just was bad for me because I was looking forward to X, but I'll just have to watch it on repeat and try to continue to avoid spoilers until I get some spare time. Hey, glad to have talked to you, Bobby. We'll talk again in text. We'll continue setting up our little thing. And in the meantime, be safe and take care. Hey, what do you think about it? All of us East Coasters get done dirty. I mean, Fate did his at like 1 a.m. the other day. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm trying to get ready for bed. Oh, definitely, Jordan. It always starts off awkward, especially if you start and no one comes in and it's just you and you're just rambling and you're trying to find that to just start on. So it it is hard when you first start. And then it becomes more fluent and time can move on and it becomes easier paced. See you later, Bobby. Glad to see Bobby getting the love. He's a great channel too. I can't wait to start seeing his stuff. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to see Hawkins and Michael battle. To me, they didn't set it up to where it be interesting. To me, anyway, like in Allison. But yeah, it's just Allison is set up so perfect to be there and have that. And she has more purpose than even Hawkins, really, when you think about it. Yeah, Hawkins didn't kill him in 78, But in this, we had Allison lose her father, her mother, her boyfriend, her three other friends. She has that anger and animosity towards him, kind of like how Laurie did in the original, and it would make more sense for Allison. Yeah, I came in, like I said at the end, and then you had left, and like Fate came in, and then all of a sudden it ended when Fate was there, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even get a chance to troll him like I normally do. Just bring up the fact of the Stu got him sick, but it was just crazy. I could keep listening to rambling on about just the same things as Scream 6. It's always the same with them. So, but I loved it. I loved both of them. Now, I I had brought up something last night in Jordan's stream, and I'm curious on your thoughts on this, Gary. Would you, if they did go back to the original cast of Scream the TV series? Oh, I'm definitely going to be subbing to that one, Jordan. There's no question. I'm going to sub to any channel you make, even like I said with the hip hop, even though I'm not a huge hip hop fan. I'll listen to the reviews on the music and everything. I might end up finding stuff I like. You could change it. So I'll definitely be tuning into that. Yeah, no, he didn't because he had made a community post because he was going to go live yesterday at like 7 p.m. our time, and he ended up having to cancel. So that's how I knew about that. But anyway, getting back to this, Carrie, do you think if you were a fan of the Scream TV series, do you think if they brought back the original writers of seasons 1 and 2, that they could explain a time jump? Because me and Jordan would talk about that a little bit last night, and we think that with how they had wrote the show, that they could easily explain a time jump, and that it would definitely be something interesting to actually give us that final kind of closure to the original show. Just curious on your thoughts on that. Yeah, definitely, for sure. No problem, Jordan. We're always down to help the fam around here. Even Necessary Distraction will come in and help. Everybody in this community will be there to support you and guide you, even if they're not in immediately. This was kind of more an impromptu thing I had planned yesterday, and kind of went off the rails last night and just brought up some things I wanted to talk about with the show for Scream possibilities, and even like my little thoughts on Halloween Ends. Yeah, like where season 2 had ended, if they bring back the same cast and the same writers, that they could explain why there was a time jump from that like Halloween episode to wherever they decided to take place in it. Because we were thinking that with how they were, they could easily explain that, and it would make perfect sense for the fans that did love it. Because there are still people outside of just like our little community that really want them to go back and explore the Lakewood Sixers. Well, technically they're not the Lakewood Six anymore, but they're what, the Lakewood Four? Hey, I might still be live, to be honest. I might just end up going on and rambling. No, I could agree. I definitely could agree with that one, Carrie. The Halloween episode really was well written, and I think it was one of the better episodes in that. Especially kind of getting away just from that Brandon James, and they kind of went off in a little different route just for that one episode. That's the one thing I liked about that, because also it set up the whole Kieran death scene, and that was, I still say to this day that was Kevin Duvall that killed him. I think I even brought that up in your stream, Jordan, talking about that I think that Brandon James was framed by Kevin. I think that one killer that did kill him was Kevin. And yeah, That was interesting. Oh, no question. Kieran is goated. I mean, he was one of the smartest ghost faces in the show and movie. And if you take notice, and we even brought this up, I went back and was watching some of that this morning. They don't have Brandon James being that clumsy costume guy like Ghostface is clumsy. And it just shows you that Kieran really is one of the greater killers. And that's why when that one question was asked about the killers, it might have been you or Elise that had asked. And I flat out just said Stu, Jill, and Kieran because how Kieran was. Yeah, yeah, that Halloween episode with the female slasher concept was a very good one. I enjoyed that concept of it. Hey, hey, I mean, hey, it's not for everybody. But that's the thing about cinema, TV shows and movies. I mean, it's art. One person might like it and someone else might hate it. But let's face it, at least you're more understanding than uh that guy from the one stream the other day. And I'm never gonna hate anybody on their opinion because hey, it is what it is, as they say. Yeah, it did really leave more questions though. I can't sit there and lie. It really did leave more questions that were unanswered. But I think also they weren't going to just stop there. But then the whole Weinstein scandal, and then VH1 buying it out. Maybe I don't want to give the guy any name credit right now, because my luck, I bring that name up, he'll show up in here. I'm gonna have a ham day with him. But yes, pretty much. But I mean, he was just going off the rails. He made no sense in Fate Stream, especially at the end. He was going off about Halloween's not even that good of a movie. He made no sense whatsoever. I mean, his takes were so garbage, it wasn't even comical. And then he's trying to say, like, Scream, the original, was a horrible movie, too. It's like, what the heck, man? God, man. Some people, man. I don't know if he was just trolling to be a troll or if he was. Yeah, I gotta see that after this stream because. Yeah, he is a massive issue. I mean, I thought I recognized that name from one of Craven's streams because I think he was starting crap with someone in Craven's stream. And I forget which mod I was trying to learn. I think it was like right around the time Bearded came in, I think. But I don't know what my messages were sending because I think I had to restart the stream and because sometimes YouTube is wonky. And it kept saying like error message not sent. So I was trying to warn people he was in there, but by the time I could, Bearded I think came in and I think timed him out at first, and then he got blocked. I mean, he's just I can't even begin, and it was just bad. And I'm not even going to get into the other stuff he said because I don't want to give that vibe off here. Okay, I haven't seen him in Jake's, but I don't get a chance to go into Jake's much lately. Usually I'm doing some stuff because that's like 7 p.m. So sometimes I'm doing some stuff. Yeah, bad nights to all of you Scream 4 and 5 lovers and anyone who thinks the series needs to go on to a 10th movie and thinking that this is right, and to those who think Halloween and Scream cannot be beaten. I mean, come on, man. Halloween and Scream are one of the two greater horror movies out there that revitalized the franchise 2 times. I mean, Halloween did it for the whole slasher in the beginning, and then Scream just brought it back because in '96 it was kind of a dying art form. Yeah, that's the one thing. You can always copy a screenshot, and that's the thing I love about the new technology. But like, what the heck is this guy on, man? I don't know if he's trolling the troll or if he is really that dim-witted. Because if he's really that dim-witted, man, yeah, yeah. Although my Android phone actually can copy screenshots too. Well, it depends on the screenshot. Some I can't, but that's because I kind of have an app that allows me to cheat the system. But no, I can't tell you about that guy. But well, apparently he does. That's what I mean. I don't know if he actually is trolling the troll or if he's just dumb. Because in all my life, I've never heard anybody that dumb outside of trolls. So I can't even begin to think about that. But man, subtle jabs, Tigger. Wait, Gary, are we talking about uh problem child up there, baboon butt smoker, or yeah, I think we are still on Devontae. Yeah, okay. Well, if you want to be heard, you're going about it the wrong. He definitely is going about it the wrong way. I mean, to be going around outside of just that goodbye, man. I mean, what he was saying to certain people in like Craven stream, I saw, and even Fates, where I kind of got a little angry, but I had to stay calm because I don't want to upset Fate. But I kind of was like throwing like subtle jabs at him just to try to get his attention away from some of those people. I'd rather him come after me than go after half the other people. I mean, which is crazy. I don't even know where to begin with that guy. But yeah, if you want to be heard, that's not the way to go around it, in my personal opinion. But anyway, going back to our topic now. That's pretty much. I just want to see a solid game with, I mean, a solid movie within Halloween Ends. It tells a good story that shows Allison being that final one. Even if they don't definitively kill Michael, I'd be fine with it to an extent, but it has to be well done. But they've set up too perfect for Allison not to be the one that's standing that almost or has defeated Michael. I'm not seeing Hawkins. Hawkins just didn't have that build, in my opinion. Because we only really understood that in one flashback. Yeah, same here. I mean, I still have to figure out how to set up mods on here in case somehow people like that come in. But yeah, the minute if I see him in this comment section, I'm just flat out blocking him. I ain't dealing with that. I mean, there's ways to be funny as a troll. Go the blocker route if you're gonna. I mean, he's that troll, but he's also not a troll. He just loves to disagree with everyone. It really was, and the thing that bugged me when he was talking about bringing Stu back was going like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 route, and like where his body was like destroyed like they did in the Texas Chainsaw 2, and I'm just sitting here, no, that's just stupid. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be close to defeated, if anything, but he's not going to be dead. We'll see a movement or hear breathing in the credit. But yeah, Blucka's that troll that knows how to troll, but also isn't a troll. If that makes any logical sense. I mean, he's the troll that'll come by and make everybody happy. So I don't know if I could even say he's technically a troll, but yeah, he's up there for being goated, no question. He really is, and I hope he's doing good. I haven't seen him in Fate stream the other day. Jordan's last night, and he hasn't even come in here like he usually does. So I'm a little on the like not deathly worried, but worried because usually I see him like every day somewhere. The fact he hasn't been around for like 3 days now is a little on the hey. I mean, it would be, but I can't even say I respectfully disagree. I think them going that route would just destroy the franchise as a whole. I mean that is trying something new, but that's way too far out. Oh, so do I. I'm not saying like he's sick or down with anything, but I mean it's like 3 straight days now I haven't seen him. It has you worrying, you know. Yeah, if he's not in here by next week, I'm going to flat out be worried. Now it's more like okay, 3 days, a little odd, but could be at work or something. So, but anyway, now going into what I was going to say with that. Yeah, it could be, but think about it. At this point, if they do it now, I mean, it's just going to be bone, and you have to deal with wax to make the skin again, and then you're going to take away more time from the movie if you do it that way to try to describe a cult. But it would be interesting. I think that them digging up would have made more sense, maybe three. Even if you don't bring Stu back in the original three, doing the body idea would have been cooler in three at that point. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's that because he's gambling and makes that from home. So I I don't know how bad the weather is in Canada. It could just be power outages as well. But yeah, no, that it could be a nod to that. It could be. Yeah, I'd rather see it with Richie and Amber if they're going to dig up anybody's body. I don't know. Stu just it doesn't make sense for Stu at this point with how that story went. Then bringing Stu back would make more sense than digging up a body at this point. Because I think if they dug up, I think they would have at least mentioned now that Stu's dead. They really didn't mention that, but there's also questions if he's alive because they haven't really mentioned him. I mean, is he dead or alive? And yeah, he did. It was actually kind of cool. I wish they would have shown us more of. Oh, there's no question that Kieran was sick, but also Kieran was one of the smarter ones. And people say Scream wouldn't work with one killer. Like we were saying last time, I actually have to disagree. Season 2 was shot like there was only one. And when you think about the whole Kieran thing, I think it could work if it's done right. I'm not saying shot for shot from the show, but you could make it work if you go around with one. Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, personally, when you think about, I'd have to say Kieran. One, he drowned somebody alive while recording it, and we saw the replay footage. He put Noah underground, buried alive. The way he killed Riley, I mean, cutting the one artery, he was. When you just think about it, it's like all the shit he did, and then look what he did to Mr. Branson. Burned him alive, and he still was alive up until that school scene with the new teacher. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when you think about Kieran, I mean, Kieran's just on a different level. But then again, we also get to see more of that character as well. It's hard to say in the movie, like with the Jill Stu, Billy Roman. would they be on the same? We don't get to see as much of a story arc with them like we do Kieran, where we have like the 26 episodes or however many there were. And yeah, his own dad. Look at that tree scene. I mean, tying him to a tree, so when he was released, there was no chance of saving him. I mean, he was just out. He was out for pain, killing, and he enjoyed it all. All three of those things make him like the most sick in the head, in my personal opinion. Because you just think about these kills. Now, I don't know. I still think it was Kieran that also set up Will in that, whatever that machine thing is that used in gardening. Look what he did to Jake. Kept him alive, tormenting him until he wanted him dead. I mean, God, he was on a whole different level. If the wrong person hears me talking about this, they're going to think I'm some sick freak of nature or something that just talks about killing. But when you look at all this, I might end up going back and watching this again tonight because and now I have a sudden urge. And look at what he did to Tyler with the decapitation, playing with Nina, which was played by Bella Thorne. The whole decapitation thing. Yeah, he framed Eli and then he killed Eli. I mean, gee, this Kieran just. Yeah, Piper was more that quick. I think the only one that Kieran did that wasn't really like gruesome and interesting, if I'm not mistaken, because we had Piper saying she was with Piper that night, was the whole killing of Rachel, when he kind of. I don't know. If we saw how Tyler was killed, it could be both of them. One could be in the backyard, and one could have been up front, stalking. I mean, I gotta look into more on the opening, but all these kills were just. Notice a lot of the TV shows are still talked about more than some of the ones in the movies. I mean, the show just stuck out more. But one of the better openings, I'd have to say, would have been like 5 with the interesting concept where one person survived. I think it was one of the better openings since the original. But I mean, it's just crazy when you think about how much it was somber, but nowhere near to the lengths of like the gruesomeness that we see. And that's why I said I think that's the only interesting kill that wasn't interesting. Oh, no question. I'm not saying it wasn't kill. I know it was, but when you think about it and you just put those pieces, it's gruesome, but it's not the blood. It's more horrific because it's something people see every day. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's that more realistic thing where people actually do have that feel, and it hits harder than a Will or that. If it makes any sense, like you could actually feel like Rachel's kind of struggle there for if you know people like that, and it's very hard for them. And that's just the one thing I admire with that opening kill in that episode. In episode 2 was just that alone was just it felt like a Wes Craven-esque feel to it. The realism behind it. It didn't feel like someone else was like behind the helm. It felt like a Wes Craven feel, because when you look at how Wes Craven did horror, a lot of things were realistic. And I think the show really, you could feel that with the show more than people want to give credit. I understand it wasn't the typical Ghostface mask, but I'm going to say this like I say with everything. I'm going to say this. The mask, while they Don't get the original Ghostface mask. It had its own original backstory. It didn't follow something along the lines of like to a degree of Sydney. It was someone that had a reason to have a surgical mask. Yeah, we have kind of that Roman-esque ending with Piper through the whole thing. So we have that. Like, we have the Scream story sprinkled in there, but that mask being original was good. The character names being original, the fact it didn't take place in Woodsboro, it was kind of newer in that sense for a show. The characters were kind of similar, but Noah was his own character. Audrey was her own character. Brooke, Brooke, I still think had the better arc in the entire show of the uh, main survivors. Kieran was the way they filmed Kieran. He seemed like a red herring, but was good. Yeah, I don't know if I could say it's scarier than the original Mask. I don't know. Like for me, I'd have to like you'd have to put me in a scenario and I'd have to envision that. I think it would be scarier if I'm being chased by that than a typical ghost face because everybody wears ghost face. So, yeah, seeing if someone was chasing me with like Brandon James, yeah, I think I'd be more terrified of that than just a typical ghost face. And I can't pick between the two. You can't compare the movies to the shows really if you think about it because the shows we get the long stories. We have more time with the characters. We get to know them more than a hour and 40 minute to 2 hour movie. So it's really hard to compare where we'll get something with like 9 hour full storytelling. No, I'm saying I don't know if it would be scary in the typical movie. I'm saying in real life, oh, there's no question. But if you were to replace Ghostface Mask with Brandon James in a movie, I don't think it would have the same effect to me, unless you bring in the same cast from the show. Okay, well, enjoy your time at work, Carrie. But I'm thinking movie wise. I don't know if having that mask in the movie would scare me the same way seeing a ghost face mask would. Is what I'm saying in the movie. In real life, there's no question. Too many people typically wear ghost face that I can't even describe it. Well, no, it really never has. But I think it'd be. You see, my thing is, could they make it work in the movie with Brandon James? If you think it works, I'll. Okay, if you, out of all people, I'll actually believe you. If you think it would work, I'll believe you before most because there's just no way if you don't. If I know when you have your mind set, it typically is something that would make sense. So if you think it would work, then okay, I'd be on board. I'd actually like to see that even more now because that really does sound very interesting. But would it have to would if we go into a movie with that? Would you want to start off in Lakewood rather than Woodsboro? Like, would you rather it be where we start off, where maybe we see them back in Lakewood, Georgia? Because I think if we're going to start a movie with a Brandon James, it's got to take place where the show took place first. Yeah, I'm just trying to see. See, the thing is, trying to take a TV budget and trying to imagine a movie budget. It's hard with that one mask because we don't. I we never got to see it used even in like a stab scene, which I think they really need to put that mask into a stab reference. Okay, I could give you that. I could give you that. No question on that. I could see that. Yeah, I guess it would have. It just would have to make sense as to what like. like why this person would be like they'd have to set it up just as interestingly as the show was. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Definitely. Okay, well, Jordan, I just got a text. I actually do have to get going myself anyway. Something came up with a friend, so uh, I'm gonna try to jump on maybe later, but something's kind of coming up, so uh, I'll give you a text on Instagram. Probably about 6 o'clock. Should be done because I gotta go help somebody. So, uh, yeah, I'll talk to you later, Jordan. Uh, have a good one, everybody. Sorry, just I got. Anyway, have a good night, everybody. Wonderful time. Please be sure to leave a like, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.